Hello and welcome to Gag of the Millennial.
A show where we talk about pop culture, current events,
and spill the hot Darjeeling right into your lap.
Oh, scolded worldy girls.
Oh, this feels funny.
Isn't it weird? Oh, isn't it dark?
Oh, isn't it dark? So, hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new podcast episode. Now, it has been 2 months since our last one, and that is because the beautiful Luxeria here went for...
I went on the swan.
The swan. She swanned herself.
I did, yes. This is the first time I'm filming since the incident.
So,
I might be a little bit rusty and out of practice. Isn't that funny? I'm still all kinds of like effed up as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So if you didn't know, Luxeria did go for FFS a couple months ago, so we've not been able to film an episode, but we are back. She is back to filming. She is gorgeous as ever.
Oh, thank you.
So as you know, we do a lot of Reddit stuff on our podcast because it's always
nonsense.
a wonderful, wonderful conversation starter. And today we're going to be going on a Reddit called
Conversation starter.
Yes. on this one, we're doing unethical life pro tips.
Yes.
Now, this is going to be a lot, so we're going to read through some recent comments, talk about our own sort of like
Advice,
responses to it and things.
Potentially.
Yeah. Oh, what's yours?
What have you done that's
yeah.
naughty? To get things for free, mug an old woman. Sometimes she mugs herself.
Woman 90 mugs herself. So this one is very, very sneaky. I read this and I was like,
oh, we love a little bit of a sneaky woman.
When you give someone a gift card as a gift, write down the card number and code. Then after a year or two, check the balance and see if they've used it yet. If they haven't, just use it yourself. They obviously won't care. And someone's commented, so somebody did this to me and my wife with their wedding gift to us. Took about a year for us to get around to using the gift card. And when we finally tried to use it, there wasn't enough funds on it. We called the gift card hotline and they confirmed it had been spent in a store already at the location near
Why
the
are you
gift.
waiting a year?
I mean, true, but still. They found out that this person had used it. Wife decided to call the woman out on it. Definitely awkward, and we don't speak to them anymore. Can you imagine? That's so sneaky to be like,
That is a bit
I'm going to
cheeky, isn't it?
take it and be like, well, if you don't use it, I'll use it.
Yeah. But don't usually most gift cards have like an expiry date
most
as
gift cards.
well? I'm sure it's like a year or 2 years.
When
maybe.
I worked in Morrison's, we would scan gift cards, and as soon as you scan it, it would activate them. So they would only be around for about a year anyway. I don't know if you could use it after a year. I mean, America might be different.
I think it's completely different.
Other places will be different. But
Interestingly enough, when I used to work at Mac, I worked at a specific Mac place that was like, we don't take gift cards. And the amount of time people would come in and pick out like hundreds of pounds of stuff and be like, it's going to be a birthday, it's great. And then they'd whip out this gift card and we'd be like, I'm actually sorry, you can't spend that here. And then it would always be like, well, how dare you, I'm never shopping at BHS again. And it'd be like, we do actually say it, and it says like all around the store, and it was just like, oh, for goodness sake.
Time to bleed.
Yeah, customers are awful.
Awful, yeah.
Awful.
Maybe read the terms and conditions or whatever before you go
Before you go to
people
prison.
do all the time though. The amount of times that people try to like use, you know, they're like, if people have like a less income, and they have like milk token vouchers where they come in and they're meant to buy like food for their kids and stuff. It's basically for kids. It's not for adults. It's for the children.
Yeah.
The amount of times people come and try to buy like cheese pizzas and stuff and try to use milk tokens. It's like, it literally says on it, this is for fruits, vegetables, like juice, like things for children. And you're like, I'm buying a pizza. No. And then you get angry at you going, it's disgusting.
You're discriminating against me and my pizza.
It's like, well, why don't you
pay attention?
Like, this is for your children. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you if you're going to happily expect that it's ridiculous. Like, for your children.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one that's very apt for us recently because we also had an interesting experience with this specific company. So
that was sensual.
It was, wasn't it? I am not used to being on camera, so I'm like, only That's ridiculous.
She comes back from surgery and becomes a
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pay me, bitch. Okay, so upon arriving at an Airbnb or vacation rental, set your phone date to the day of your departure and do a video walkthrough. Then you can leave the place in whatever state you like, since you have video proof of how you left it.
Wait.
Now, I don't know if you can actually do this on iPhone. I'm assuming this is like an Android
I mean, you
hack.
can change the date on your phone, because I used to do it years ago playing Candy Crush, because you could like set your time like a few hours later and you suddenly get 5 lives again. So you can change the time on your phones
What
like
that. That's an unethical pro-life tip right there, girls.
Most apps don't allow you to do it anymore. This is like the early days of like 2010, 11, 12 when games like that.
I don't know if it would actually be like a proper thing, because surely when you check out of a place, well, apparently not.
No.
Because when we checked out of a place, we We had a very specific incident. Would you like to explain the story?
So
It's kind of disgusting.
So recently, me and Luxeria have been trying to go to as many kind of like hardcore raves as we can. We're both into a very specific type of music, and there's not many events. We tried to go.
No,
like,
there
go
really
to
isn't.
things. So we went to Birmingham. And so we went to this Docks, yeah, Docks is a place we went there once.
Docks an entire city.
Anyone who lives in Birmingham was like, oh,
how dare you?
They revealed my address. So we went to this Airbnb in Birmingham.
Airbnb.
And we got there, and first of all, we couldn't even get into the apartment.
No,
it was like the gate wouldn't open for us.
And then, of course, well, even before this, when we went to park, they were like, "You haven't specified that there will be parking."
But it literally comes
it
with
says on your listing there's parking, you bitch.
It's so stupid.
Also, the car parking space that we were like designated had someone in it.
Someone already was inside
so I was
it.
like, well, I can't park there.
We managed to get in eventually, and we got into this Airbnb after the faff of trying to get in, put our stuff down, and just sat down for 2 minutes, and then we were just chatting about how annoying it was to get in. And then the longer we stayed there, it was like we started to look around us, and we were like, "Oh, this place is disgusting." Every single wall was like covered in
filth.
dirt and filth. Every surface had like dirt on it. The chairs were like filthy. There was a weird smell. There was like stains in the bed.
Yeah.
Like, in
yeah.
In Luxeria's bed, because we had two bedrooms. In Luxeria's bed, there was a huge like brown stain on the sheet. I had what that looked like semen stains on my pillowcase. Every wall was covered in like. It looked like faces.
And underneath my bed.
Yeah, so all the way through this, we were like going, oh, we really need to think about getting somewhere else. But obviously, it was cost so much money to get something that quick. We were like, oh, what are we going to do? And then we looked under Luxeria's bed, and it was absolutely vile. In that moment, both of us was like, no, that's
absolutely not.
We cannot
do it. It was like there was... like semen used tissues just like stacked under the bed, and it was just like, this place has not been cleaned like ever.
No, it was absolutely vile. And so we were just like, you know,
somewhere else immediately.
This isn't happening. So we moved. Then we had to fight Airbnb to even get any money. We never got our money back. We ended up getting like
they
a
gave
coupon
a voucher
because the owner
and the voucher didn't even cost. Didn't even fully cover the next adventure.
No, it didn't.
Stupid bitch.
And the man was like, no, they're lying. I've given them proof that it was fine. It was like, this is absolutely unreal.
Yeah, absolutely disgusting. I mean, if you follow us both on Instagram, we were putting things on our stories because it was so vile.
Yeah, it was really disgusting. It was really disgusting.
Absolutely, and it kind of put a dampener on the weekend, if I'm honest. Because it was like we'd gone for this specific event, and it was so stressful just to even have fun at this event, and it was annoying.
Especially because then we ended up paying double.
Yeah,
because
double.
It was ridiculous.
But to bring it back to unethical pro-life tips, I think even though we actually filmed and took photos of all the debauchery that was actually present when we like stayed there, and they took like an extra deposit from you as well.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was like £700 with this like appalling place. I don't even think that this unethical pro-life tip would have worked in that situation.
No, that's the thing. I honestly don't think it would work.
Because they didn't care. They really didn't care.
Even that time when me and my sister, we went to Brighton.
Oh my God.
And we had this lovely apartment. It was absolutely beautiful. It wasn't that much money, to be honest, but it was a really nice apartment. And as we left, we did everything they said, closed all the windows, we took all the bins out as they requested, blah, 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 blah. The husband comes in, leaves us a review on the Airbnb about saying, thank you left the house wonderful, clean, it was amazing, thank you, come back anytime you want. An hour later, my sister rings me and goes, oh my God, I'm so angry. And I was like, what? The wife of the man came back and goes, it was disgusting. The entire house stank of food. There was mess everywhere. There was feces in the shower. And it was like, what are you talking about? Clearly trying to scam money.
Scamdemic.
Because also, first of all, we did not leave. We left that house. My sister is so prissy with this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes,
so we left that spotless. Even if it was messy, you pay a cleaning fee. So the cleaner should have come in and cleaned everything. So if it was still messy, that's the cleaner's fault, not ours.
Maybe the cleaner came in and ate fish and chips and then shat in the shower.
Yeah, maybe. I knew it.
Disgusting pervert.
Awful. But yeah, I don't think that Airbnb one will actually work, to be honest. This one is absolutely awful.
Oh God. Okay. Right. Here we go.
But it was one of the most. It's got 61,000 like upvotes.
Oh. Okay.
So, but it's awful. Just brace yourself. And I do not advise doing this at all.
God. Okay. Right.
If a relative keeps asking you about having kids, lie that your wife is pregnant. And a few months later, tell them that there was a miscarriage, so they'll feel uncomfortable bringing up the subject again. People have commented on this though. You underestimate my family's lack of empathy.
Yes.
This is my family too. They wouldn't care. They'd be like, any luck this time or did it die again? And someone and then someone at the bottom says, tell them their toxic attitude kills your children.
Your toxic attitude killed the children. Oh my God. Well, yes, I suppose you could, couldn't you?
What is it with people and like, I get that like in society we're brought up to believe that like you have to have children, have their babies, but like I never understood this idea of like asking people when you're having a child, as if like you can just go, okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, as if like, yeah. Oh, actually, she spaffed in me last night.
Yeah. Oh, very inclusive, Luxeria. J.K. Rowling will be happy.
Dear.
No, but like, is that gonna? I don't understand where this like obsession with like having to ask people like, when are you having children?
But also, at what age does it become okay to like ask that question? And then what age when someone's like 50, like, should we just go around to middle-aged women and just be like, so when's the baby?
But it's so I don't understand where this pressure comes from. Like,
This
you have to have
social
children.
nonsense.
Because obviously, being a gay person, I don't ever really get asked that question. But like, I think women.
Do you know, weirdly enough, I've been asked that question, and I'm like, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Never.
Never. But like, I don't get it. It's like it makes it feel like having a child is like this vapid thing that you just kind of do. When's the child? As if like there's no planning that needs to be done, or no real life experience, or like stability somewhere. It's like, when's the child?
Oh,
Like, you just instantly assume that they can bring someone up. To me, that's a telling of how they've brought up their own children, where it's like, you clearly didn't think it was a big deal at all. You thought just having kids was like this, like, I will have a kid. If it dies, it dies. You know, like, I'll try to keep it alive. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? It's like stupid.
It becomes like a decision of like, where should we go for lunch?
Yeah.
When you're having your baby. It's very that, isn't it? Like, which one you having? How many?
I can change it. Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh.
Counts.
So this one says, save business cards of people you don't like. If you ever hit a parked car, accidentally write sorry on the back of the business card and leave it on the windshield.
Oh my God, that is one of the worst.
You know people have done that though.
Absolutely unhinged. That is like super villain
like
stuff.
As long as there's not
that.
like security cameras that would catch you doing it, I guess. But like,
but even then, how would they be able to tell that wasn't part of your company or part of somebody else's company?
Awful. Hello.
Could you imagine
my car?
No, but just being like, hello, windows and doors blind. And they're like, you've hit me, you. I was gonna say a really naughty word. Yeah.
Clange.
Yeah. Clange.
It's awful, isn't it? But also like kind of.
I mean, that is an unethical pro-life tip. That is a way of being like, I'm off the hook.
But yeah, wow.
It makes you wonder if you've ever been have you ever been targeted by something accidentally by someone just completely at random and not really realised?
I don't drive, so that's not like car-wise, no. But like, I'm sure there are probably times in my life where someone has passed the blame on, or I've thought someone else has done something because
there has
to be at some point where something's happened where
a line has been crossed and you've been like, oh, oops.
But I'm sure it's a hard one to tell actually, I guess, because it's probably happened to you too. It's probably happened to everyone at some point where like they've been misled and think someone else is the problem, or they've been misled and they thought someone else did something when they didn't, or even just misunderstanding a situation where someone said something to you and in your head you've gone, that means this, when in reality it's so completely different.
Opposite,
So this could One of the comments on this is funny though. It says, try putting the business card with sorry on the windshield, even if you didn't hit the car. They'll spend a good amount of time looking for what's wrong with the car.
Oh!
What's happened?
What's happening?
The thing is, they end up then attributing something that's completely not even that to that person. Like, that scratch wasn't there, even though it was like there the whole time.
This dent,
That's
this woman in my body oil.
That, to be honest, that sounds like a prank that would be on YouTube. Someone going like pretending to damage a car.
Throwing this baby at the car. Ultimate life pro tip. Starting a new job, no matter what the reality is, you now have 4 alive grandparents.
Oh, awful.
So that when you need to, you can be like,
Mavis kicked the bucket.
Yeah, we've had a family crisis. Yeah. Margaret's dead. She was 92. She died doing what she loved. Dying.
Is awful. That is awful. I mean, I'm sure we've all pulled a sickie though at some point. We're like, I'm sick.
Family crisis used to be my thing at school when I was like, I didn't want to go in for whatever reason but I remember hearing, I don't know if this was real or not, I remember hearing that if you're having some sort of family emergency, they can't legally ask you what it is. They're
Can they
just
not?
like, okay.
But even if you say that you're sick, I think even if you say I'm really sick, they're not allowed to say, well, what's wrong with you?
No, but they ask you to like provide proof, don't they? They'll be like, if you're away for more than 2 hours,
if you're away, for
you need a doctor's.
Yeah, if it's like a long period of time, you need to. But like, if you just say I'm really sick, they can't be like, so you're shitting yourself. Like, they're not, they have to actually be like, okay, it's only like, I think it's like 3 days. If it's more than 3 days, and it has to be like
3 days.
Yeah, then you have to have doctor's proof. If you're a lot more graphic by saying what you are ill with, they're more likely not to be like, oh, can you come in and like, I remember
That's true. Yeah, if you're like, oh my god, it's coming up both ends.
Yeah,
girl.
there has been times where I've been a bit more graphic than what I really was because I was like either hungover, I've gone clubbing, and suddenly it was like, oh no, I don't care, I've done it.
Yeah.
But
your old manager's going to fire you.
I'm yes, Morrison's, don't fire me.
Yeah.
But like I've done that before. I've been like, sorry, I'm just got really, really bad diarrhea.
Yeah.
Because what are they gonna say?
Come in and just wear a nappy.
Yeah. Please comment down below a time when you have pulled like a sickie and like fabricated
sickie.
the truth or something.
And what was your story?
Yeah, what was your story?
My dog's got gout.
Yes, my cat ate my baby.
Yeah. Now I'm upset.
Yeah.
I'm actually on the cover of this month's Chat magazine.
Yeah, Fate and Fortune.
Yes.
If you glue a dead wasp to the palm of your hand. This is
that's it. Yeah. That's the tip. I love.
This is very I put sugar in my
I was just about to say.
If you put sugar in your arsehole, the ants will go in and
will
bite
come and
it.
eat shit. That.
So it says, if you glue a dead wasp or bee, I guess, to the back of your hand, you can hit your boss on the back of the head as hard as you like and act like you saved him.
That's true.
It was to stop the wasp.
The bee.
It was
There
going
was
to
the
eat
bee.
you.
You were gonna die.
I mean, it
Boris.
could work. And then this person's commented, glue a bunch of live ones to your entire body. That way you can fly away through the window before he figures what's going on.
Oh, what a horrible experience.
My boss stepped on a bee.
So I have one here, which I quite like. I quite like this one. It's kind of a little bit innocent. This one is, if you work in retail, make a fake email and write an email to your boss or store praising yourself. Have you got this
That's
one?
literally
What
my
you were
next
just
one.
about
That
to
was
do.
literally my
And
next
it's-
one.
that's
Because
so ridiculous.
so the reason
So I actually have gotten a lovely email from someone before. It's legitimate, but yes, what?
Morrison's made us do this.
Made you do this?
So they were like, we want to get our Christmas like money this year. So can you all make an account at home and send yourself like good praising things? And they made us,
Scandal
they made us
girls.
do like 8. We had to like praise other people in the store so that like the managers would see that we're getting a lot of praise into the store, and then we'd get our like Christmas bonus
Oh,
money.
you little unethical slut, you.
It was
Well,
ridiculous.
It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault. They were like, you have to do it.
I have to do it or you're
Which
fired.
is clearly against the rules. But
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
of
don't know
course
how they were
so.
able just to do it so openly.
In all of my workplaces, I've never had to do something like that. So I'm like, oh, you naughty.
It's what would happen is, so every single time you would use a receipt, they would have like a number at the top, and that number logged in who, like, so it would have been either me or whoever would use, use it at that time. They would make you take the receipt of this person. If they didn't take it, you would just take a receipt, and then you would go on the internet, put the number in that was on the number of the receipt, and then you would like put like a message being like,
were you like forced to be extra nice to certain people in order to get like good feedback?
well, people, the thing is, the reason they're making us do it is because no one ever did it. Who the f goes home and then logs onto the Morrison's website and they goes, I'm gonna leave.
They don't make it
no
easy.
one does it. Yeah, no one does it. So they were like, take the receipts home, go on the Morrison's website, type in this code which will activate that transaction, and then you would then you'd be like, put a nice review about said person.
That is a lot of effort.
A lot
for
of
just like,
effort.
I wanted some eggs.
But it was like so unethical as well. Like
Entirely unethical, but also because of your like bonuses, I'd do it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, my goodness. I mean, like working in retail is such a soul-snatching part of society anyway. That like, of course, just do what you can. Do what
and
you
there was
can
always
to
like,
get
there was
extra
that,
money.
make sure you word each one of your things differently, make it look like it's a different person writing it. It was
Now that
so,
really is
it
like
was
proper
so
unethical.
like, yeah, it was so
like if there was
dodge.
an investigation, everyone would be sacked.
Yeah. The thing is, they were telling us well, basically everyone in the store to do it. It was like, how do you think this is going to stay secret? Like, I don't get it. Obviously, I left there years ago, so maybe it's like because it was only that 1 year they made us do it. So this is an interesting one, and I actually think, as awful as this is, it actually makes a good point. If you ever rob a bank, make sure to hold your middle finger up in front of your face the entire time. Then they have to blur your face for the security footage. Like, because it's true.
Oh my god!
Because you can't
Do
have
they
that. Because you couldn't have that on TV. If you were like
this is illegal.
If you were like that the whole way, they would take it away because it's swearing.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Would they not be like, excuse me, we have to now release this footage, but there will be adult themes? I mean, burglaring a bank is an adult theme anyway. I don't know. I'm sure the rules can be broken in that. So like, they can't be like, no, we can't show it. Oh, editing studio, what do we do? Like, they're not going to be like that, are they? But do you remember, so talking about like having to blur things, there was a burglary, like a bank robbing situation. I think it was an ATM like heist or something in the UK. I think it was in Nottingham. And someone had told these two robbers that like rubbing Sharpie all over their face meant that the cameras couldn't pick it up. So when they were arrested, they just had Sharpie all over their face, and they had mugshots with Sharpie all over their face because they genuinely thought they couldn't get caught.
That is ridiculous.
Deranged.
But also, I mean, if you're, robbing things like that, I don't think your brain is probably the biggest to think about. Maybe might be the wrong idea.
Yes.
Like, why don't you just wear balaclava?
Why don't you just try to not rob a bank?
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like what other methods should we use?
I'm sure there's plenty of other things you can rob that makes a lot more sense than robbing a bank.
I remember like people always say put like tights over your head.
Yeah.
People always put like tights,
and then if you pull them up, it like disfigures what the face is meant to look like.
Strange.
But in this day and age, I feel like bank robbing is one of those things where it's like, this happened in the 60s.
Yeah, does that kind of, I mean, it probably still happens in some places, but like, it does seem one of those things now, like, I don't know how you could possibly do it because the security would be so intense now compared to like, 30, 40 years ago.
Every now and then we still hear of someone trying to rob a bank though. But I always have this like oldie worldy vintage like idea of like what robbing a bank is.
Yeah.
Like robbing a train. Do you remember that used to happen? People just rob trains. Weird.
I did it.
Yeah, now you're just on the TfL and they're like, the Metropolitan line is delayed.
Yeah. James robbing.
We can't get the staff. They've all been stolen.
They've all been eaten by the fact, by an escalator.
So I have one here that has actually worked for me before. Now, this is a little bit of an unethical pro-life tip, but also I kind of feel like if it is, it's not your fault, girl.
If you eat the liver of a baby, you stay
die.
Rejuvenated for life.
You get free FFS. So this one is, if you need a discount for an online purchase, try variations of sorry 15, sorry 20. And companies will often have an unadvertised coupon code available to give customers for 40 products or shipping mistakes.
Is that real?
So I've actually used this before, but it wasn't under sorry, it was under test.
Oh!
Because when you are building these like websites, you have to put in codes to like test if the discounts actually work.
Yeah.
And occasionally there'll be like a coder that's really stressed under like pressure at work to like finish something, and they'll forget to take out some of these codes. So you can use something like test 10 and it might give you like 10% off, girls.
Honey is quaking.
Literally. So I remember doing this. Oh, can I share the story, do you think? It's been a few years. Maybe we might cut this out. So do you know Morphe Cosmetics?
Yeah.
So years and years and years ago, I used to really like their products. And I managed to find out the CEO's first name. I think it was something like
Bonchetta.
Sophie or something like this. And basically, it gave me like 70% off my entire order.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, is this naughty? Am I going to get found out? They're going to be like, sorry, we have to refund. And it
just say it was honey.
It went through and it worked.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I got 70% off. But yes, using codes like welcome or first purchase or like order 10. Just try out all these. Yeah, sale 8.
Sale 8.
Yeah, try all of these things because sometimes
Concubine 25.
Concubine. Escort.
Yeah.
Child. I'm not going to scream that. Not on this day and age. Can you imagine John Lewis? Child. Yes, if you're
100%
yeah, your new Samsung TV is free. Yes.
God, and then Jeffrey Epstein comes in.
Oh, let's not go there. Jesus, that got dark.
Oh, that's dark.
But alongside this idea of like getting free things for the coupons, sometimes if you add things, are you still laughing about? If you add things to your basket and then wait, sometimes they'll be like, just so you know, we saw it in your basket. Here's 10%
That's
off.
happened to me before with contact lenses.
Yeah.
I'm so indecisive a lot of the time. Sometimes that happens. It's happened with Pinky Paradise before.
Pinky Paradise. I used to love their lenses. So good.
They're not very good, actually, I don't think.
No?
No, they never worked with me very well.
Oh, the EOS ones. I used to love them. EOS Cloudy Pink.
This one is, again, awful. But it,
God, you've really got a lot of the awful ones, haven't you?
I mean, it's unethical life advice. It's not meant to be good things.
That's true. I don't know. I like it.
What were you expecting me like? Pick up the nice daisies and give it to your grandmother.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
The day before an anniversary or Mother's Day, run someone over outside your house for a constant annual supply of fresh flowers to act as a helpful reminder. Can you imagine being like, lover, it's our anniversary next week. Do you know how I know? Because of
They're
dead Mavis.
Yeah, they're dead. And the thing is that, like, if you're from like a little village or something, even if the nastiest person in that village died in like a high-speed drug chase with the police, there's always a constant supply of like, our angel.
There's the flowers.
And the flowers.
Do you remember I told about the death tree that was in Devon? Remember I told
Oh yeah, wait, yeah.
So there's
or Jade's grave.
No, Jade's grave's that's that Dartmoor. That's a different thing.
Oh,
but there's this there's death trees. You drive into Crediton. There was always this tree that people kept on smashing into all the time.
I remember. Yes,
I remember there was like almost like a death, like almost like 4-5 times a year of this like tree that like people just kept speeding around this corner and like killing themselves on this tree. And so there was always like this mountain of flowers by this tree all the time. First of all, I was always like, it's a bit strange. Like, I'm not telling people how to grieve, but also like, why do you want to remember where they like?
I do find that that is a really weird thing, isn't it?
When they're like getting mangled up in car wrecks, I'm like, do you really want to be like, this is where he died, ate the steering wheel? Like, I don't get what you do. But what happened was, because this kept happening, the council were like, we need to get rid of this tree.
Yeah.
Like, even if people skid off the road now, they're going to land in a field or something, and it's more likely for them to survive, let alone having like this huge tree.
Solid tree.
So, but there are people literally protesting outside this tree for like months, going up there like, where are we gonna put our flowers? Where are we gonna remember them by? And it's like, a grave? Like,
it's very strange.
Like, what are you're getting so irate that they're cutting down this tree that keeps causing death.
It keeps killing people.
And you're
like,
like,
the tree doesn't kill
well,
people.
no,
but
but I mean, if
I get what you mean.
You know, if they were actually going to fly off the thing and go into like a field, like a flat field, that's only like not that much lower.
Yeah.
The survival rate's going to be higher. They're smacking into this god awful tree. But it was like, I just don't understand this idea of like, no, you cannot cut down this tree. How am I going to remember my son or my daughter or like my husband or whatever?
The land will still be there.
Like, to me, it's just such a strange thing to be like, I want to remember you where you were at your most
the worst part of your life. Like, where it ended.
Remember them somewhere where like, you remember like a wonderful memory. Maybe I'm just being heartless. I mean, I've lost so many people in my life. So like, I'm used to death, I guess, in a way.
Same,
but like, to me, the idea of having this, being upset that this tree is getting cut down.
I don't get that either. You've raised a really good question here.
I always find that
never really
weird.
thought about it. I'm always like, well, I've made the joke before of like, you know why, like, for some reason in religion, like Christianity, they always have Jesus on the cross. And I'm like, why are you celebrating the moment that he died?
Yeah.
Like, that's a really strange thing. So this kind of like translates to this bit, is that like, why are you celebrating the area which you lost your like beloved ex?
And not even just like they died. It's like, no, they were like mangled up in like a wreck.
Now this one is a really naughty one.
Oh, God.
Really naughty one.
Look how the times have changed.
Yeah, look. So, unethical pro-life tip. If you see someone shoplifting from superstores this holiday season, just mind your own damn business. These places don't pay you to prevent their product loss.
So. It's interesting you say that, actually, because when I worked in Morrison's, we especially around Christmas time, people would steal shit all the time. And the amount of times that the people would say like, oh, make sure you don't make them steal. And I was like, I'm not risking my life for a bottle of vodka because you've decided that you can take the loss. You're a massive company.
Yeah, and they have insurance for this very reason.
Yeah, so that would happen all the time. The companies would always tell you to be like, don't let them steal. You know, stop. It's like, I am not putting, especially if you're like stealing things like stuff, you might have a knife. You might have some kind of
weapon. You might be on something.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to put my life in jeopardy because...
Well, they have security guards as well.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Come on, do your job, yours... Well, we've already heard the story about that, Goiter. So when I used to work at Mac, there was actually, it was just before Christmas, someone came in, I don't know how this happened, none of us saw it wasn't on any security cameras for some reason, and emptied an entire drawer of pallets. And it was, so that's like, we're talking like $7,000 worth of like
because
theft.
that kind of makeup's expensive.
It is. We were always told, never engage with a thief. Never engage, never try and stop them. Just alert someone nearby, alert your management, alert security, anyone. Just never actually engage because of those reasons. If you don't know what they're like they could whip out a knife and just stab you. I mean, it is London after all.
But also a lot of the time as well is unless they actually walk out with the items, they're still not actually stealing.
That's
Until they've
very
actually
true.
left
Doesn't matter
the
where
store.
they put it on
Yeah.
their body. They haven't body oil.
Oh, body oil. Waiter, there's
There's
an
a
entire woman in my
body oil. Yeah, you're right. It's not actually stealing until they cross the threshold.
Until they, yes.
Until they
Carry
into
me
the
over
night
the threshold into the jail cell.
and die.
Oh.
This one doesn't really strike me as particularly unethical, but maybe
God,
you
what is
won't
it?
agree.
If you don't want your grandparents alive, kill them.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly. If you want your inheritance, do it now. So, send a wedding invite to every billionaire you can find an address for, as there's a good chance their assistants will just send you a gift without ever confirming who you are or even if they know you.
Oh God, can you imagine?
I don't know if this is this unethical to be like, hello,
I mean, it is unethical.
Bill Gates.
But I mean, it's unethical when it comes to like, you're still committing fraud, but
Are you committing fraud?
surely you are committing.
Is that fraud? Sending a wedding invite to a billionaire? Is
Well,
that
no,
fraud?
because I think because you're not doing it because you're wanting them to come. You're doing it because you're trying to scam them into giving you a gift. Surely that would be considered fraud.
If you're just sending an invite and not also like a letter of like, dear Jeremy,
I don't know.
I know we've known you since I was 2.
I don't. To be honest, I don't really know that much about the law, so maybe.
I also
it
don't know
isn't.
much about weddings.
But like, I guess if you're like with people like billionaires and stuff, they probably get so much stuff coming them, they probably won't even see it.
Yeah. If I was a billionaire's assistant, I think I'd probably just
They probably have
actively
more-
avoid
if-
all
you'd
of the
probably-
wedding
you'd-
invitations.
You'd probably have more than one if you're a billionaire.
That's
You
true,
probably have like
yeah.
multiple.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You probably have like companies doing it all for
Yeah.
you, wouldn't you?
Next time you're in a very religious country, take a friend to a restaurant with you. After you finish the meal, kiss and get thrown out for being gay. Free meal.
You don't just get thrown out though, sis. That's not how it
I was
works.
like, this is very clearly someone who's just making this up. And
This
not
is
actually-
someone who doesn't know.
Yeah, like literally like murder.
Yeah, they're like put in the street and killed.
Although saying that, I mean, if you were to do it in America, there are many establishments in America that can refuse service to you for being gay. I think that's still a thing in places.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Especially when it comes to birthday cakes.
yeah, I mean, you could just like go to a restaurant that you knew that they
Knew.
didn't like to just to
And just be
eat,
like,
and then be like afterwards, and then they can't obviously arrest you or kill you because that is illegal. But
They can still make your life hell.
I would also say don't ever do this. But,
Yeah, don't do it. Like, it's just not worth the hassle, is it?
But I
also-
mean,
I mean, like, you should be. But if you want to kiss after a meal and you are gay, you should be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And everyone then should clap and say
yeah.
how brave you are and
Oh,
sob.
wonderful!
Yes.
Yes!
I love
I
the.
love
This is
you.
the gayborhood.
Damocles!
The sword of Gabba
But then you just get my brother's friends commenting
Oh my
things about
God.
swastikas and pride flags being the same thing.
So this is one that I've actually heard a lot of people do, and I think I've actually come across people that do this. I mean, I don't need to do this because I've already got one. Lie about having a college degree. Companies rarely check them, and if they do, the only consequence is that they won't hire you. So, lying on your CV about having a degree. So, depending on what the degree is, sometimes a company will only look for if you are degree level educated. They
Yeah.
won't look at like what your degree is. It could be in X, Y, or Z. Like, they don't really care. But obviously, if you're going for like a science position in like forensic science and you're like, I've got that, I graduated yesterday, they're going to be like, okay, right, go into this laboratory and perform a forensic. And they'll be like,
Help me!
I don't know what I'm doing. How? Have you ever lied on your CV or had anyone?
I've only ever had 2 jobs, so
Oh my gosh.
I've never had to do like when I went to work from well, it was Summerfield at the time. I just went down on my school break at lunchtime, going, "Can I have a job?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's an interview. Come in." And then I just got the job. There was
Oh my
literally
God.
no. And then I was in there, so I was there for such a long time. And then when I went to work for that other place, the presenting place, I was just like, "This is my YouTube stuff. This is what I do."
Yeah, you already had, your CV was actually your work at that point.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, okay, and then they said yes, and then I became full-time YouTube. So,
How fascinating.
yeah, I've never had to like lie on a resume because I stayed in one job. If you work in retail and things, I always think it's very and you don't want to like progress up the ladder in that shop. I always say change your job every couple of years. Go into a different sector of retail, like go into like a clothes shop and then do a supermarket and then do I don't know like something
else,
like a jewelry place. Like try to change around because unless you're trying to build yourself up in the ladder, it's better to have a different
range of skills.
Yeah, a different range of skills and a different range of like retail experience and not just the same thing because you get stuck.
Yeah.
I was stuck in that Morrison's job for so long because I just got scared to do anything different because that's all I'd known for like
ever.
Yeah. So
yeah.
it's not good to like stay in like a job like that if you're not going to progress up the
I
ladder.
wouldn't say that I've lied on my CV, but I've definitely done like business speak on my CV. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you do things like, there's a great example when it comes to, someone was working at McDonald's once and they were like, I manage what was it? I manage transactions for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And it's like, technically, if you're working on the retail register at McDonald's, you are handling transactions at a billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah.
Technically, you are. But you're not in the accounting or finance department, you know what I mean? Like, you're not actually doing, like, corporate business deals. But you are technically...
I signed a deal with Coca-Cola.
Literally. It's like that you're not really lying, but you've done that business speak where it's like putting the best foot forward.
Yeah.
So I think when you... Honestly, your CV is literally like selling yourself. It's selling yourself to a company. And
Oh,
making them go
100%.
like, do we like you? And I must admit, my CV hasn't really been rejected for a lot of the jobs that I go for. It's actually me that's been rejected for the jobs, unfortunately. Get to the last moment and it's like, no.
But I think the thing is, about degrees and stuff now, it's actually insane that like at one point having a degree was like the thing you needed. But now it's like you have like a bachelor's, all this, master's, all this shit, and they're like, not enough experience.
Not enough experience.
No.
Yeah, no. Entry level requires a master's degree. Entry level.
Ludicrous.
Insane. So actually this happened to me when I finished university and I was looking at positions. But there was this company that basically wanted someone to make PowerPoint presentations for their website.
Yeah.
And I was like, easy. The lady who was interviewing me was great. And then this guy came in to like, I don't know, be the assistant interviewer. And he literally said, oh, and what's the second degree in? And I was like, you think I have to have 2 degrees to do this job?
That's insane.
This was like £19,000 a year full-time job. And I was like, you think I have to have 2 degrees for this? 2 degrees? That's like minimum of 6 years education. I could be a doctor.
Yeah.
For this. It was
for an entry-level job.
I get so frustrated with the state of the what do you even call it? Like HR? Like hiring?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I don't know what the word is for it, but this industry of like recruitment, that's what it is. Yeah. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So yeah, use all your unethical pro-life tips to get your jobs because it's obscene that we even have to do this faff and nonsense to be like, I've always just really felt like I want to work in a shop.
Yeah.
Like, no, you haven't. You need to not die.
Exactly. And I think as well, I think it's interesting because when we were younger and that the university choice was being done back in those days, back in like 2006, 2007, like it was still like you have to go to university to get a good job. Yeah, like, but I didn't go, and it was a hard decision because I was like, all my friends are going and I'm not. Blah 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 blah. I'm very glad that I didn't choose to go in the end and like spend all that money. I mean, I don't think I would have gotten anyway because I'm, you know, not the most brightest when it comes to academically stuff. So I probably wouldn't have got in. But say I got in and wasted all that money on like a 4-year and actually got through it all. But it would have done nothing for me now because none of the
it depends what it would have been
none of the choices
in,
back when we like none of the choices we had back then were social media. Like there was no such thing as a social media manager back in 2006. There wasn't such thing.
So this one, I feel like I've never really lived with like a messy, disgraceful person before, but like I can sort of sympathize with people, especially we've done like landlords from hell and tenants, like tenants from blah, 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 and we've heard about these horror stories. This one is, if you can't get your roommate to clean up the house, create a fake Tinder profile, match with them and tell them you're coming over. They'll leave the place absolutely spotless in no time. Now, I also think that this overestimates some people's like...
I think that is,
filth.
That's very optimistic, I would say.
Very optimistic, because we've all seen those photos on Reddit and on Twitter where they're like, this man just gave me the best dicking of my life or whatever, and they are in literal like hoarder's filth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... The thing is, I find it like, I get that like actually people have disorders and stuff and hoarding and all that stuff, you know, is that's like, taking that aside from it. I don't understand sometimes because some people are just disgusting. Some people are just like filth. I mean, I've known most of my friends back home are all straight, and I grew up with straight people, and I've known many people in my time who just literally just happily lived in filth. Like, and there'd be dirt over the floor, like just everything's disgusting. And I don't get how nothing in your mind goes, I shouldn't be breathing in rotten food that's like rotting on my plate on the side that I've left there for a week. Like I never understood that. I mean, it's mostly straight men. But
let's be honest. Let's be honest.
But like, it's weird. I don't get it. I just don't understand how you can just be like happily do that.
If you followed this pro-life tip, you would have to kind of like not like your roommate or something, or not like your housemate, because imagine the like rejection they feel when you're like, when they found out that it's fake or they're not coming over or something.
But also then you're relying that they match you, and also you're relying on that you even find them on the app.
But then also you're relying on that, but also what if they're into like some really weird stuff that you didn't want to know about?
Yeah, all of a sudden
they're like, will you swivel on it, girls, and vomit on me?
I really wanted to pour spiders down my knickers. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, what would you want? on.
Well, that was a very interesting
insight
into your psyche.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Right up the pussy. Crawl inside me.
No, don't. Disgusting.
Tarantulousy.
Disgusting pervert.
Disgusting pervert. I saw that. Are there any trans people in here?
I've got another one here in which I kind of did this.
Oh,
There's
here
something
we go.
similar to this. But I feel like everyone who was at uni has done this. So
stolen a monkey from the zoo.
Yes, and then shipped it to Guam.
Guam, yes, bye.
So, during your last semester of college, get your student ID photo retaken. You'll have a more believable photo ID, and for a few extra years, you'll get extra discounts and perks after graduating.
Does that work, though?
So, in the UK, we used to have this thing. I think it's called beans now for some reason.
Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you
doubt.
No, you ruined my Simpsons song.
Oh, it was lovely, thank you. They used to be called the NUS. You get your NUS card or whatever, your NUS discount card, blah. So I remember I renewed mine in my last year of university, and I think it was for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I used that discount card for those full 2 years afterwards. And even then, and sometimes afterwards, that people like waiters in restaurants and like people at checkout wouldn't actually check the date.
No, a lot of the time they don't. They
just check that you're actually a student.
I used a rail card way longer than I should have because some people just didn't check. And if they did check, you'd be like, oh, sorry.
I just didn't know. I had gout. But also, it's just because like when you're a student, things like you need those discounts sometimes.
Yeah.
You really do to feel like a human being. But when you leave university, you're not immediately like a rich woman. So like, do what you want. Use your cards. Yeah. Treat yourself. Do a little naughty.
So years ago, before I moved to London, me and my friend Rebecca would always go to McDonald's drive-thru where we used to live, and we would always get food, and we'd always get like a large tea. That's always we'd have. And you know like the stickers on the back of the cups, you stick them. If you get, they might not do it anymore, but you would have like 6 stickers, and then the 7th one would be free.
Oh yeah.
The
like
amount
a loyalty
of times that you would go to like the ordering window and say, we want blah blah blah. We've got 2 tea token like vouchers, so we don't have to pay for them. And by the time then you would get to the window, they would forget that was what you were doing. Oh. So you would just pay, and they would never ask for the tea things. So the amount of times that we had used like the free tea like 4 or 5 times before they've actually taken it off us. Like,
that is quite naughty.
But we did that a few times. They might not actually do that anymore. I don't know if they still do the sticker thing. I don't really buy tea at McDonald's anymore. But
should we go to McDonald's after this?
Yeah,
and
have tea. But the amount of times that I managed to use this free tea voucher multiple times before they were like, oh, actually, can we have them, please?
So oddly enough, I've got one related to that as well. So years and years and years ago, when I was a Brighton girl, obviously I grew up in Brighton. There was
sucking people off under the docks.
There's no docks in Brighton. It was the pier, I'll have you know.
Pier. That's what I meant, the pier.
Anyway.
Okay, sucking people off onto the pier.
Oh, can you imagine? Maybe once or twice. Actually, it didn't. No, it
was on top of the pier.
Yeah, it was full.
It was in the
public
arcade.
Nudity.
Yeah. Right on the coin pusher machine. Yes,
the coin pushers. Oh wow! Welcome to the 1940s. Next, you'll be writing a penny farthing.
I will. Yes.
Anyway, back to the story. There was only one Cafe Nero in Brighton at that time, and it was in the North Lanes. And I don't remember how this happened, but they give out basically the same thing. It's like buy 9 coffees and your 10th is free. Yep. There used to be a naughty little eBay site that would make the stamps. Oh. And I remember I bought one for like £6 off eBay, and to not make it like insanely obvious, like every like 4 or 5 times or whatever, I'd just be like, add a couple of extra stamps, and I would get loads of like free Cafe Nero coffees, and it was a free coffee of your choice, so obviously it would be like, I want a large woman covered in cream. The largest you can get.
I absolutely love a
large woman covered in cream.
Yeah.
Best drink from
Daddy's
Cafe Nero.
cream.
I know, right? So that was my unethical pro-life tip.
People used to talk about print. People used to print off the Morrison's vouchers, and so in the self-checkout, you would be able to scan one voucher yourself, and you'd have to put it into like this little hole at the bottom. And what would happen is the sensor would then the light sensor, as the ticket went through, would break. So then once it goes through, and then, like that's like it. It says that the voucher's gone in. Yeah. But what people were doing is they would use a voucher and do that. They would put it in. You put it in far enough, and you kind of wiggle it about a bit, and then pull it back out, and it would register that you would use it. And the amount of times that we were like losing like £5 like vouchers and things coming through because they would just constantly be doing this, it was insane.
If you give people like a gift sort of situation like that, like a loyalty situation,
Yeah.
people will always abuse
I
it.
always thought
will.
when they said to us that you could like put your own vouchers in, I was like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea.
Absolutely, completely
Bizarre.
agree.
Very, very bizarre.
Like, pour your own samples.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like, people are just going to be like, well, I want the whole bucket.
Well, the amount as well, because you would have it so the coffee machine that we would have, you could like go in, mix up a coffee, just drink it round the store, and then just leave it somewhere, and then not pay for it because you didn't have to pay for it on the machine. It wasn't like a Costa
really?
one; it was like one of our own ones. So you would
That's
just like
so dumb.
You would just make a coffee, and they would like hope for that people would go to the machine and be like, I had
I
a
bought
coffee.
a latte.
Like, people just wouldn't do it. The amount of times that we would just run like half-drunk coffees round the store, like just empty cups
Doesn't
that they
make
had just
any
taken.
sense.
It was like, what are you doing? How did
At
like,
this point, it's just complimentary.
Yeah.
It's not even a product.
It was ludicrous.
So this one has made me giggle just from the title alone. When planting plants on top of a dead body, make sure to plant an endangered species so it'll be against the law to dig it up if you've murdered them.
Can you imagine? Is there an
That
endangered
is-
species of flowers that they're not allowed to dig them up? Is that a thing?
Oh, I guess there must be, right?
This snapdragon's out of fashion with God.
Oh my God, out of fashion with God.
Yeah.
A dead body.
A dead body.
There must be, like, endangered species of flowers, surely.
Oh yeah, everything goes out like there will
Everything goes out of date.
Everything goes out of date. I'm sure there will be, but like to me, I've never heard of an endangered species of a flower. It's always like
Imagine
this
if it was just like in the
species
road.
of tigers dying out. Save
Please,
the tigers.
Yeah, it's all very that, isn't
But
it?
not plants. I've never even heard
Yeah.
of plants.
For our Dead Body podcast, maybe we could go out and find some endangered species plants and bludgeon someone to death and then plant it and see, should we do a test?
Yeah, shall
Here's
we?
the footage.
Yeah. You've seen Two Guys, One Hammer. We'll wait until you see our version.
Wait until you see this.
Jesus Christ.
One dead body. So this one, give your kids a bag of coal for Christmas this year. When they cry, just tell them Santa is wrong and you'll get it sorted. Once the shop's open, buy what they ask for. They will think you are a legend and that Santa is a dick. You will also get the presents for half price. Why half price? What? Half price because Christmas is over.
But
or whatever.
Boxing Day sales are a huge
Oh, that's
thing.
true.
That's very true.
But you won't find a PS5 in the Boxing Day sale.
You still don't find them now.
Yeah,
a year
true.
and a half later.
That's very true.
But I think it's quite interesting because it's like, in a way, you could be like, well, it makes your child like love you more than a bit.
That's
like,
true.
Like my parents, the cool one, they suck it to Santa.
Yeah, like Santa's got nothing on my mum.
I always wonder, like, maybe don't let children listen to this part. We're going to talk about Christmas things.
And Santa.
Like,
Satan.
what age were you when you, like, kind of realised the truth about old Satan?
I have absolutely no idea. I really do not remember a Christmas in which I was like, oh, Santa's dead. Like, I don't remember that at all. I want to probably say around the normal time, maybe like 5 or 6, something like that.
That really that
I think
early?
so.
Oh,
I
that
think
seems
so.
really early. But
Really?
like, what I find really strange is like,
I grew up in a city though. It's just kind of like, you know.
maybe that is the big difference. But like, I remember like always being puzzled as to when I got older to think back of why I actually believed in Santa, because every single year, when we did get present stuff, the presents were already under the tree up until Christmas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Santa's meant to come on Christmas Day and give you your treats and stuff. But like, it was the exact same things that were under the day before and it has been there for weeks. So it was always like, I always found it strange that we would
That's
ever like
different,
believe in
because
Santa because
mine didn't happen that way. My mum used to hide the presents
Oh,
and then
okay.
put them under the tree. And I remember once I went to go and get bags from under the stairs because that was where we've kept our bags under
And
the
you
stairs
found a
for
head.
28 years at this point. I was only like 5. And I remember like seeing all the presents and my mum was like, how dare you? And I was like, you asked me to get bags for the bin? And it's like, we've kept them here forever. And then I remember like my mum being like, oh, stupid bitch. I
Stupid
shouldn't
old
have done
bitch,
that."
yeah.
But talking about Santa and presents, I remember reading, it was probably on Reddit actually a few years back now. I remember reading it was probably just like a pro-life tip of being like, don't embarrass the other kids in your children's class by making Santa give them a really expensive present because they'll think that Santa likes them more than your child. And I was like,
he does.
he does. Yeah. No, but it's like, don't make like the PS5 from Santa, make it from your parents and make Santa give you like chocolate or something. And I was like, sometimes it's not always about other people's children.
But also, like, even if Santa did that or whatever, like, if you still have these things, the kids are still going to be like, I got a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, so my parents love me more
so
than
like,
you.
it's still going to be the same impact. I don't know, like, to me that seems like...
It seems a bit virtual signaling.
Yeah, it does. Virtue signaling.
Virtue
Yeah.
signaling. Seems a little bit like that. I find that the discourse around like children and gifts is a very strange one because completely unrelatable in my life. I spend all my money on me. And when I get a little dog, it'll go on my dog. And that's about it, really. So can you imagine being like, I hate you because that other child over there got something from Santa? Like, what?
No, but I think, to me, that sounds like the privileged children getting shitty because they didn't get what they want. Not because
maybe that.
Not the children who grew up with less money. So I feel like when you grow up with less money, because we didn't have any money. Like when I had Christmas presents, it was always like socks.
Yeah.
I never got like bougie things until I was old enough to buy things for myself. A Hoover.
I got a toy Hoover.
Oh, I remember once my mum got me like a little checkout.
Oh, right, yes!
Foreshadowing my future job for a while.
I also had like play checkout thing.
I never got really expensive things. It was always like one thing from Mattel and then like some chocolate from my grandpa. Like we were never rich. So like the idea of going to school and being like, you got all this from Santa, he hates me. To me, that sounds like a spoiled child being like, I didn't get the new iPhone. Yeah. Santa hates me. Like that,
I would agree with that.
Well, everybody. It has been wonderful to be back filming again after so long. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
My adoring public, thank you. I don't know why I said that.
Right in the bin. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being back, Luxeria. Lovely to have you back.
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please leave now.
Please leave. Go to the
Take the hint.
Yes. I was hoping you were down the operating theatre.
It's time to go. That's a very British way of being slap your leg and stand up. Everyone has to go.
Nice, take the weight off your stumps.
It is.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave any unethical life tips that you have or you may have heard that we may have missed out that you think are hilarious. Leave it in the comment section
or any
below.
that you've done as well. Like, have you done what we've done, like lying on your CV?
And of course, remember, this is all in good spirit and good fun. None of this is meant to be taken seriously. Like, this is so inappropriate.
Yeah. Don't put endangered species on a dead body.
No, just a dead crozzy. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you miss any videos that are coming up.
Yes.
And we will see you
in the next
episode
time. Soon. In the next
we'll
one.
see you in the funeral home.
Yeah.
Yes.
A dead body.
A dead body.